Tables. So what are tables like? See, why do we use tables in the first place? So in HTML, so tables are used to display data in tabular format. Like tabular format precisely is all about rows and columns. Like if I want to show my data on my web page in rows and columns, then yeah, table is the best way to do it. I say there are many ways in HTML. Since HTML doesn't have any proper formatting or structure, you can use anything to display the data in a tabular format. But tables are the best and the easiest way to show the data in tabular format. So yeah, tabular data or tabular format is tabular format will show the data in rows and columns. So and tables have a specific use previously, like when there was no XHTML, people used tables to design their entire layouts. Like whatever you see a web page, it was entirely designed on tables. And even today, most of the people use tables for designing their email templates. You go to Gmail, just inspect the elements or view the source, you will find tables in there. So people are using tables for exclusively for layouts as of today, and previously they used to design the whole website in tables, and later when the responsive thing came up, they're no more using tables for the layouts. They're using something else for the layouts, which we'll be discussing later. So tables, I'll say tables were used to design the entire layout of a web page previously, and tables are also used in email templates. So as of now, nowadays tables are used only to show the data in rows and columns. So that's what they are precisely used for nowadays. So yeah, let's go and see the structure or syntax of a table tag. So as I say, HTML is all about tags. The markup, the HTML hypertext markup language, the markup stands for tags. So whatever we write in the code, it's all in tags so that the browser may interpret it or understand it to show it in a proper format. So that's what markup means in HTML. So, and we have discussed about previously the tags. Like every HTML tags has a particular meaning. Like they're not randomly named. They are named in a way that they're understandable to the users. So just like that, table tag starts with a table. So you can just identify, like whenever we see this particular tag in our web page or in our code, that means a table starts here. Chetan, I see you typing. Hi Chetan, I've been talking to you since you joined the class. I guess you joined somewhere around 25 minutes back, but you've been idle. If you got any question, just pop in there, use the chat area. I assume you can hear me. Cool. Yeah, I mean you can see that, I guess. Like if anybody starts typing, I can see that this guy is typing. That's the reason I stopped. I mean that grabbed my attention. CTA, call to action. Cool. Fine. So whenever the browser finds a table tag, it assumes like, hey, there's this table starting here. So table, and we have talked like every tag has an attribute and a value. So like such, table has some attributes and values. So let's see what are those attributes. Like water is an attribute which has a value which is always a number. So you gotta give a number over there. Then it has align. Align, we have seen align in paragraph tag. We have seen align in heading tags. Align is like, where should I place this table? Should I place it on the left side? Should I place it on the right side? Or should I place it in the center? So the default being left, then center, then what's the other side? Right. Then there is width of the table. like, hey, how much width do you want for this table? Like, say, do you want 500 pixel or 300 pixel? So width is again a number in pixels, or you can also give percentages. So we'll talk more about percentages and numbers. What exactly the difference can be. Why can't we use just one thing? So when you say R, why can't it be fixed to one thing? So we'll talk more about what number is and what percentages are. And there is border, align, width. Then there is cell spacing, I say. So cell spacing again a number. Cell spacing is nothing but like we'll see actually when we talk about a practical program. Then I'll explain more about cell spacing. And there is one more attribute called cell padding. This is again a number. Yeah. Then align. Then there is one more called vertical align. It's called V align. So this is about where should I place the contents of the table, like should I place it in the top of the cell, or middle of the cell, or to the bottom of the cell. So yeah, the default being top again. So that's what a table has. Now fine, we know that whenever the browser sees a table, it assumes like there's a table over here. But what does a table actually contain? Like whenever we see a table, we see some horizontal lines and the vertical lines for a table. So what just by saying a table tag doesn't mean that the browser won't understand, like where should I draw this, where should I put a row, or where should I put a column. So to be more specific, we are supposed to give one more tag inside the table, which is a table row. Now this time tr, again I said HTML tags are all properly named such that we understand it. So tr here stands for table row. So table row, what does it do? What does it say? Like say, what is a row? A row is like stacking things on top of each other. So one line, one row. Second line, second row. Third line, third row. So it's one after the other. Row is like one after the other. So what is column again? So column is like side by side. If you place things side by side, then we call them as columns. If we place things on top of each other, then we call them as rows. So yeah, table rows. Table row again. We talk like every tag has some attributes. So this has bg color. Oh, I forgot. There's a bg color attribute to the table tag too. So I forgot to mention that. So you can. So this is a color. So bg color. So if say for instance, if I want to have a separate color for different rows, so I can just go ahead and give bg color. So bg color, again give a color here. We'll talk more about colors coming later. There are so many ways we can give this color attribute. So we'll be talking about the color attribute later when we talk about CSS. So again, there is one more attribute called row span. So again, I'll talk about row span when we see a practical example. It's just a number again here, then a call span. See, tables are complex things. Like they're not as any other HTML tag. It takes a while to understand the table tag. If you already know about table tags, yeah, it feels like, hey, this is pretty cool. It's not that difficult. But if you're really very fast to the HTML, then table is the first, first hurdle in learning HTML. Like you got to spend more time on tables than the previous classes. Like since this is all about nesting of tags. We talked about nesting of tags yesterday. Like if I place one tag inside the other tag, then it's called nesting of tag. So now here, table, you see here, it's still one single tag, but there are several tags inside it. So it's a bit complex when we see it at first time. So what do we do when we face a complex situation? Practice. That's it. You do all sorts of experiments on this table tag. Like do whatever you want to. Since HTML doesn't throw any error, it doesn't eat up your time when you make a mistake. It still shows your content on the web page if you make any mistake. So the best possible way to learn HTML is to experiment. That's it. Just type in a tag you liked it. And if you can invent tags too, and you see what happens over there. So that's how it doesn't throw an error. So it's just like that. So yeah, and coming to the point, tables are a bit complex. So I won't ask you to concentrate more on it. Just practice more on it. That's it. You go after the class. I mean, go in the sense like you be at home. Still, open your keep open this practice so that you can make like do better. But I'm saying don't crack your heads over here because we seldom use tables. We hardly use tables. We only use tables when we want to display data. So we can do that in several different ways. People use different uh, methods to display data in a table format. We can do that too using HTML lists. We spoke about that, and some CSS. We can do that too. So yeah, and you see all the attributes here. Do not try to remember any attribute. I guess by far we will be using the row span and the call span at most. So remember only the table tag, and coming to the attributes, you don't have to remember the border, you don't have to remember the align, anything else. You gotta remember only for TR it's row span and call span. These are the two important attributes for a table row. So just remember that particular thing, and rest of the thing, if you can remember it. If you don't, yeah, forget about it. Cool. You okay, AKC? I guess I'm clear. If I'm going fast, or if I'm going slow, or if you can't understand anything, just pop a question. That's it. No problem. Cool. Thank you. So yeah. Now I said table row. Cool. Fantastic. Table row. Okay. But where do I place columns? So yeah, go ahead. Shoot. No problem. Oh yeah, we do use tables. We hardly use them. Like it's important to know about tables. See, this class is is not an exponential class. It's a gradual class. Like we'll be using tables now to maybe to design layouts. It's not we don't I assume we don't use it even for layouts. But yeah, at some point of time when we are dealing with databases, okay, when we want to show data to the user, say some people may be stubborn on using tables. Like say for instance, if you're working for a client, so he may say like, hey guy, I mean, I don't want anything else, I just want a table to show the data. So in that case, yeah, you can go ahead and Google for it. I say, how do I display data in a tabular format? But yeah, it's my part to teach you guys tables so that you can use it. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, use a table, then you don't have to startle, you don't have to surprised. So that's the reason I'm just explaining what a table exactly is. Yeah, it's fun again. Learning HTML is fun, I assume. So yeah, we'll see how fun it can be. Yeah, cool. So yeah, now I say a table tag, and then I said there should be rows in the table. Yeah, fantastic. That's the reason we are using tr, a table row. Now, yeah, in a row, what is a row content? A row has columns. Like if there is one column in a one row, in a single row, it's still called as a column, and it can be called as a row too. So yeah, what else does a row has or a table has? A table has a column. So in HTML it's called table data, or some people say it's a data cell. So TD, again the name itself conveys, like TD is table data. So whatever the data I want to show in a single column, here it goes into the TD. So let me see. So it goes inside the TD. So these tags, the table tag has no content, has no element, and TR tag has no element, but the TD tag has element in it which will be displayed on the web page. So even if at all I write something here, it displays out of the table. We'll see how does it display. So yeah, a table tag, a tr tag, a ti. This is the order we gotta follow, like table, tr, td. There is one more tag which is synonymous to the table tag, which is a table header. So sometimes people use table header to show the headings of a particular as a column. So for instance, you take a student's mark sheet, or you take a student attendance list. So this guy has a serial number, this guy has a first name, this guy has a last name, and the students will be having an attendance yes or no. So these particular things are headings. They convey something, like whatever that appears below this is a serial number. Whatever that appears below this is a first name. So the table headings will show something, I mean some understandable thing to the user, so that he may not get confused. Hey, what is it? If I don't write serial number, first name, last name, and attendance as table headings, if I go directly and write some data over there, he may feel like, hey, I'll write like this. Like, say, let me show it here. So I'll say 1 AKC yes. So what does it signify? It says nothing. Like, nobody can understand it. But if I give a heading, I say serial number, name, present, or whatever, attendance, or is he here? So now this makes some sense. Like, if anybody says it, yeah, okay, this is a name field here, this is a serial number. So this is, in our case, is a table heading, or th, and this is a table data, or data cell. Now this particular serial number, have you got a question here? Yeah, go ahead, tell me. I can see that. Yeah, I'm watching it. You can just type in your question, I'll be answering. Yeah, we'll see that. Why th? Th has a default structure. Like whatever goes inside a th is shown as a different format. Like, it gets bold, and its default alignment is middle. So we'll see. There is some significance for th, and t is just the data, plain data. There is no formatting in it. Yeah, cool. So, and I'll be writing here. So you see here, this section. This is a column. This is a column, and this is a column. Whereas this is a row, and this is a row. So if you take this as a table, the whole structure is our table tag, and this particular thing here is a tr, and this is again one more tr. So there are two rows in this particular table. So two trs. Then this is one th. This is a th. This is a th inside one tr. And this is one more tr. This is td, td, and tr close, and table close. Cool. If you are good with it, I'm gonna share my screen here so that I can type in some code and show you how does it work. So if you're good, because whenever I share my screen, I won't be in the class. I'll be on my laptop. So I won't be seeing the chat here. But I'll be coming back to the class every 5 minutes, so that if somebody posts a question, I can answer them. So I guess you understood it. Like, I share my screen, I go to my laptop, I won't be in the class. I won't be in this environment. So that, yeah, cool, fantastic. So I'm gonna share the screen, just in getting this thing. I'll just I gotta update my Java so that I can share my screen, but I guess it may take some time to update it. So I continue in the class, and if you can, I can show the whole classes. I gotta show the lists as a practical, gotta show tables as practical. So I'll be discussing this on Monday, so I'll be updating my Java tomorrow. Is that okay? And meanwhile, I'll be sharing the whole tutorial as the document, so that you can practice